I started in music initially in 5th grade, I think, when I started playing trumpet. I was just one of those band kids here and there. Essentially, my senior year of high school got suckered into it because of peer pressure, because of friends saying, you gotta do show choir, you gotta do it. I didn't think that it was gonna be my thing, but it ended up really altering the course of my life. And so I auditioned for show choir at my high school, Loveland High School, and I essentially started my singing journey then. Baby, when you see. What a lot of people would say is I had a lot of raw talent that was very not refined, and so I had a whole lot of amazing people around me who taught me how to kind of harness it. I would say soft pop is probably the best way to put it. It's pop music with a lot of singer-songwriter influence. I sing a lot about things that are just real. I don't want to overcomplicate things, and I want to generally be positive and take an uplifting outlook with my music. I think what sets me apart to a degree is the amount of connection that I have with the people around me. A lot of people do it kind of as a hobby, and they treat it like kind of something more for fun. This is what I want to do for my career. I think about it morning to night, and I'm either writing or producing or sending emails to get connections, to do interviews, to be on playlists or whatever it could be. I think what sets me apart is my perseverance. I think I want this more than anybody.
Yo, it's so good tonight!
I had my first debut headlining show at A&R Music Bar. So it was kind of a dream because we were initially going to be at the basement, but we got to upgrade to A&R Music Bar because tickets just flew. And so we got upgraded up there about a month out from the show, and everybody came out for the show and played a good hour of music. It was the coolest day of my life. From like morning to night, I was interacting with people that I hadn't seen in months or even years. Like my mom's college roommate's daughter came because she heard about it. Like the connections went that far. We had people fly in from Missouri, from Florida for the show. So it was really encouraging. Like from morning to night, everywhere I would turn, it would be another circle, another like crazy connection from class or from elementary school. It was awesome. A lot of college musicians aren't necessarily doing that formal aspect that comes with the production and the mixing and the mastering and all of that. And so the production aspect is something that can be so overbearing and so frustrating, and like you can just dig yourself a hole for sure. But I think when you find that right feeling, when the song has the colors that you have in your head, when they're executed, I think that's like when a production manifests to like what it's supposed to be, you know? Production is definitely one of my favorite parts of making music because it gives you so much creative control over the idea and making it into something that is more palatable for everyone else. I would say the difficulties that I ran into while starting up this music journey was, I mean, the entire thing is trial and error. Like, you do so many things right, but then you also do so many things wrong. And I think that I'm in a good place in my life, and especially just with the communities that I have, that when I made those mistakes, I have people to lift me up and to say, hey, this is what you can do next time to make it better. So there's like the business aspect of music and like how that works. And I've really taken a lot of influence from some of my older friends who've been doing this longer. It's their career, it's what they do, and so they pay it forward because people helped them initially, and now they're helping me out. When I wake up, I have to do it. It's not a like to-do list or anything, it's kind of what drives me. So, I mean, my biggest inspirations for sure are getting to play the music that I make with the people that I make it with. So like some people live to play for thousands and thousands of people. I feel like I'm lucky that I'm getting to that. But some of the most fun I've ever had in music is just being in the studio with friends making the songs. I think that anybody who listens to my music, I really hope that they leave just kind of feeling good. It's feel-good music. It's not supposed to weigh you down. It's supposed to, if anything, lighten your burden, you know? My goal is for it to be so uplifting and positive that when you go through a playlist of just Adam Paddock's music, you're gonna leave feeling better than when you started listening.
Start from